Hi there, it's Tracy with Totally Trace, and it's the first Wednesday of the month, so I am here with my free monthly card class. If you are catching me live or watching the replay, I would love for you to tell me where you're watching from. I'd also love to know if you are crafting along with me and what are you using to make your cards. So let me just tell you a little bit about my free card class. So I do it the first Wednesday of every month, and I share a template. And this template, the goal of the template is that you can replicate it easily using whatever supplies you have. So again, the goal is that you are crafting along with me. Then another part of this is that anybody that places an order of $40 or more will get the kit of the cards that I am crafting. So I will send that to you free so you can make the exact same cards as me. All right, so this month's template, I have the measurements here for you. I'll just kind of zoom in for you because I know sometimes on those phone screens it can be a little small. So screenshot it, take a picture of it. If you are part of my email list, you have these measurements in your inbox. And then, of course, I will also put them on this post when I'm done here. So you're going to need a card base, 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score it at 7.5 and 4.25 inch on the long side. That card base can be neutral, like a white or a vanilla, or it can be colored, and I'm going to show you both of those tonight. So remember, I'm going to be making 4 cards. You're going to need 2 sheets of coordinating designer series paper, scrapbook paper, whatever you have. One of them is going to be 5.25 by 7/8 inch, and then the other one's going to be 5.25 by 2.5 inch. Then you'll need neutral cardstock, 3 3/4 by 5 inch. This colored cardstock is optional, and again, I'm going to show you 2 different varieties, one with it, one without it. A large shape die, and what I mean by that is I just pulled out some. So this is the textured notes. So these rectangles are large shape dies. Stylish Shapes has the squares and the circles. Here's Everyday Arches. This would work as well. Spotlight on Nature, some more circles. And if you're thinking, I don't even have an embossing die cutting machine, I don't have that, that's okay. Just cut a rectangle out of paper. It's not that big of a deal. So hi, Linda. Thanks for joining today. I want you stamping with me. So whatever you have, you can make this work. And then, of course, you're going to want your favorite stamp set or bundle. All right, so let's get started. Just going to get some of this out of my way. Uh-oh. I went to put that away, and it was so heavy it made the whole basket drop. So again, I'm making 4 different cards using this same template. And I'm going to start with one of my favorite sweets. So I'm going to use Brush with Beauty. If you follow me, you know I've made all kinds of cards with it. So here's what the paper looks like. I mean, it is just stunning paper. And then I love the sentiments as well. It comes with flowers and stems too, and I'm going to show you that. But for me, the words are, like I keep saying it, it's a must-have. All right, so let me show you what I have. All right, so here is that card base. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. And again, I've scored it at, it would have gone in, no, it would have gone in this way. I'm not sure. Remember, I'm visually challenged. I just know I put it in. I scored at 7.5 and 4.25. And then you're going to Z-fold that so it looks like this. Okay, so you're going to fold it closed and then fold this flap backwards. And then, again, I'm using that Brush with Beauty paper. So this is my piece that is 5.25 by 2.5, and that is going to go right there. This is the piece that is 5.25 by 7/8, and that is going to go right there. And then, get some of this other stuff out of the way. I said you need neutral cardstock for the middle and that colored cardstock would be optional. So if you're using a white or cream base, that's when I would recommend you using a colored cardstock. If you're using colored cardstock as your base, you won't need this piece. So let me show you what I'm going to do with that. So that is going to go here, and then this will lay over the top of it. All right. Hi, Pamela. So this is what the gist of the card is going to look like. This is your template that you're following. Hi, Lynn. So then the large die, I pulled out that Spotlight on Nature. I love those circles. I love the detail around the side, and I pulled out a really large one. So I could use that. I also pulled out the Everyday Arches. And to be honest, I don't remember which one I decided to use. I designed this a couple weekends ago, so I forget. But now that we have our basic template, we're going to start dressing it up. So like I said, part of this suite, this is the Brush with Beauty suite. They have these stamps, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. It's not something that I feel like is a must-have, though. I do like them, but I like all flower stamps. Whereas this also comes with it, and this is one that I'm saying is a must-have. I might change your mind on these too because they are fun to play with. But then it also has all these stems, which I love. Using these stems to decorate, I don't know, any stem set I like. So what I did was I took Mossy Meadow. So I just die cut that, and look how pretty that is. And then I used this flower. So I've die cut that out. And then using Crumb Cake, I die cut this stem out. Okay. And then I'm going to use the detailed flower. Let me get a block. I'm going to get Crumb Cake ink. All right, so I'm going to stamp. Let me just get this lined up. So I'm just put some ink on there, and then I'm going to stamp this. Again, I have cameras and lights in my face, so I'm just going to do my best. Oh, but that turned out pretty good. And now we're going to see how this looks. So I am a design lay down 100 times before I ever glue down. That is part of my visualizing problem. I need to see it. So we're just going to see, like if I do this, this is what I was picturing in my head, is kind of layering those stems. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn, check your email. I just responded, and I'm worried that you missed an email from me earlier this week. So make sure you check that email and confirm something for me. All right, so let's look at what it looks like with the arches. Oh, I think I like the circle better. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'm changing my mind. I think I like the arch better. I think these lay better along it. Hi, Paula. I've got lots of friends joining today. All right, so now I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here. And I told you I love this. This is Words of Beauty. So you've got these big just because, and then you can die cut them out as well. But then you've got these just because, and then all these different sentiments. And I love how you can mix and match. So you can say just because, or you can say just because, or just put because, or don't use any of that and use these sentiments. I think it's my favorite sentiment set that Stampin' Up! Has ever done. And I don't say that lightly. So I'm going to do the just because. I'm going to use the small one because I do want it on my arch. And so let's see. I'm just going to kind of lay it on here. Where's my because? There it is. And then it also has the ellipse where you can put your little dots. Okay, so those will have to move over a little bit. I kind of like it there. So let's move this down. Again, I have a camera and lights in front of me, so I'm hoping that's straight. But I kind of like to lay it where I want it, and then I only have to stamp one time. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. And I'm not going to use the 3 dots this time, really just because I don't have the room for it. And then I'm going to stamp something on the inside too. All right, so now that I kind of have everything laid out, I'm going to start gluing down, and then I'll show you how this fun fold works. And I'll show you some of the cards I've made using this suite. I know some of you have probably seen them all. If you're following me on YouTube or on Facebook, you might have seen them. But maybe it'll re-inspire you to copy a template. Or if this has been on your wish list, tip you over the edge to actually get it. All right, so this is going to get glued to the front. Oh, look at that, I slid it. Oh, and it wants to stay there. Come on. All right, well, that's not going to be as straight as I want, which is just going to prove that it's homemade. And let's see, before I glue this down, I want to stamp. So I have Just Because. And I need thank you cards all the time, because every time you order from me, I send you a thank you card, or anytime you get a kit from me, a thank you card goes in it. So I'm going to use that I appreciate you, because I really do appreciate you. And I'm going to do it with Mossy Meadow again. And then, of course, you could stamp, you could use the flowers to stamp inside here. You could add a little bit more designer series paper here, but I'm going to just do that. All right, is anybody making a card along with me? So because I have a neutral card base, I'm gluing this to colored cardstock. It's just going to make it look a little bit more finished. If you're using colored cardstock as your base, you don't need this extra step. Okay, and then I'm going to glue all this stuff down first. Don't put this on your card yet, because there is going to be a trick. So if you are crafting along with me, wait to see how I attach this to the card. For these little detail dies, I'm just very carefully adding glue, just a little bit. If you use this glue, you know how strong it is, and this is going to stay. I don't have to worry about that. How about we pop that one up? So I'm just going to put one there. And then I'll pop that up as well. I wanted to avoid that stem, so I'm going to put it there. Okay, so now how we're going to attach this to the card is I want it to be right on this flap. So I'm going to put my dimensionals right on this flap. You could use glue as well. Okay, and so now the card is going to open like that. Okay, easy little fun folds. So again, hopefully you are crafting along with me. and using whatever supplies you have. Because you're going to see I'm going to make another one that uses completely different supplies. Okay, I'm going to move this back into focus. So again, if you don't have those measurements, go ahead and grab them while I get everything cleaned up here and get ready for the next card. One more to clean. So are you a clean up as you go person, or are you a just get the whole desk messy and then at the very end clean it? For me, to be honest, I'm a little bit of both. Sometimes I'm a clean as I go. Sometimes my desk is a complete disaster. When I'm live like this, I have to clean as I go or I just run out of room and you wouldn't even see what I'm making. All right. All right, card number 2. So again, all same supplies. This time I'm going to use that colored card base so you can see what I mean by that. Oh wait, I promised you this and I forgot. So these are all cards made out of that same suite as I just used for this one. So you can see, like, I love this just because. This one is a fun fold. Here's another fun fold. This was almost the template for today. I love this layout. It's become one of my favorites. So again, this is all using that same paper, same stamp sets. This one's another fun fold. Oh, no one-handed, I can't get it closed. Ooh, a vellum card. A lot of you love that one. Oh, that one you've already seen. I might have shown that one. Oh, we've got duplicates here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the next one. So same measurements. This time my card base, it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 7.5 by 4 1/4. This time I use Highland Heather. Yes, Highland Heather. This is not a color I use very often. I am not a bright purple person. But when you see my designer series paper, you'll know why. Okay, then 2 coordinating designer series paper. So I've got 5 1/4 by 2.5 and 5 1/4 by 7/8. And this is designer series paper. I don't know, it might just look pink to you, but it definitely has texture to it, I guess is the best way to say it. But you could see, if you wanted, you could just use regular cardstock there. So it's going to lay out like that. And then I've got my neutral cardstock. That's going to go there. So this is what I mean that I am not using the optional piece this time because my card base is already colored. All right, my large shape die. So, oh wait, let me show you this paper first. So this is I think it was an online exclusive, so it might have fallen off your radar. It was called A Splash of Sparkles. It is still available, and when I saw it, I don't know, birthday is what screamed out to me. Like, it just looks like a fun party. So these are all the different papers that come with it. It is 12 by 12. I cut it down. Right? Isn't this fun? This is not my typical kind of paper, but I was like, I need to get this. Let me get outside my box, and I, again, saw party. I saw birthday. So I wanted to make some birthday cards. So I'm pairing it with Cake Day. This just went on the last chance list. They announced new items on the last chance list yesterday. I was going to say on Tuesday, but that was just yesterday. And this is one of them, which makes me sad because I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to play with this too much. Like, I had to have this and build my cakes. And then it went away. So I'm going to show you how fun this set is, though. All right, so we've seen basic layout. This time, instead of using that large die cut, I'm going to make the cake my my large die cuts. So this set is so fun. Like I said, I just started playing with it, so I had no idea all the things that it could do. So first, this is your cake base, and you can see it makes, it's one that folds, so your cake could actually fold. I die cut it, and then I cut it in half. I did not want it to fold for this one because it's already a fun fold. Then you have this piece, which becomes your frosting. All right, so now again, this is where I'm spaced. I had to watch a video, people, to get this to fit the right way because I was like, this is not working. Ah, there it is. Now I'm much better, but you should have seen. I probably played with it for 30 minutes and said, this does not fit. And had to watch a video of somebody else making one. Okay, so you can make the frosting. Then look at this. Took me a minute to figure this one out too. These are like little macarons. So it has this, and then I couldn't figure out what this was for. But look, it die cuts this, and this has a little slit. So all you do is slide it in there. And look at that, it makes a macaron. Isn't that so cute? All right, then it has the candles, which I have been playing with the candles because I love them. It has frosting. You can have frosting dripping down from your cake. Like this is one of those you can build a lot of things. And it has a sentiment one. It has, I think I die cut the flag. Maybe I did, but I didn't leave it in here. So you can have that sticking out of the cake. Lots of fun. If you like building your stamps and being like lots of, what's the word I'm looking for? Variety? That's not quite it. But lots of different things that you can do with this. All right, so now I'm going to use the stamp set. And the stamp set, too, also has all these different ways that you can make the cake. So I'm going to pull out Bubble Bath because that coordinates with my paper. Oh, didn't want to open. There we go. And I'm going to use what I think are sprinkles and frosting. I'm not sure, but it's my cake, so I can decorate it how I want. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of make my frosting. So we'll do a layer of frosting there. I'm going to stamp it twice because I like double the frosting. And we'll do a layer here. Okay, oh, and I caught an edge there, but you'll see it's not even going to matter. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go in with this one. And I'm just going to put it in between. Okay, and if you don't like that gap, just add some more frosting. Okay, look at that. So see how the layers of the cake? Come on, you got to admit that is pretty neat. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. And just hold that for a second. All right, now, again, you get to decorate. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm going back to my stamps and somewhere on here, here it is. We've got the frosting for the sides. Again, this stamp is a lot of fun to use. And this time I'm gonna use Highland Heather. And I'm just going to stamp this a couple times. Oh, maybe 3 times because that didn't come out very well. And we're going to use use the other side because I got an edge again. I don't know what's going on with me today. Okay, so just like that. And then, of course, there is a die to cut that out. Right, so this one fits right over the top of that. So I'm going to run that through my machine. Okay, and there we go. So look how this looks. Right? So we've got some more frosting. I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. This is the only way I'm ever going to make a cake, if I'm honest. Okay. And then I made a bunch of these macarons, so we could like kind of lay them at the bottom. They could be up here to decorate the cake. Whoops, that wasn't quite glued down yet. Or I also have these tufts of whipped cream. Not sure I'm liking those on there. What's happening with this piece? Let's hold that for a second. It keeps moving around. All right, I think, oh, I don't know. I kind of like that now. And then maybe a candle in there. I'm definitely thinking of my niece as I'm doing this. She is a leap year baby, leap day baby, leap year day. How do you say that? So her birthday is coming up and her favorite colors are purple and pink. So this would be perfect for her. All right, let me check it with cookies one more time. See, I could play all day. I think I'm going to do the frosting / whipped cream. Okay, so let's get this glued down. So I see more of you are hopping in. Hi, Ruth. Again, easy fun folds. I have the measurements. I'll share them again here in a minute. I would love for you to be crafting along with me. Ooh, look at that piece. Okay, see, so if you get this kit for free from me with an order, you would get to decide how you want the paper. Okay, oh, it's so hard for me to cover this piece, but I think I'm going to. I really did like that. Now my head is spinning of what I can do with that paper. All right, just like that. Okay, so again, this is going to be my, this will replace what I said for the die, that large die you need. Okay, but I think I want the candle in there first. And is that candle too big? Let's hide it. Ooh, I could even hide it back there. Okay, yep, I think I like that. It needs to be a little bit shorter. So I'm just gonna put some glue on the back. That was probably way too much. All right, we're gonna need silicone mat now. Oh, let's see if I can grab it. Silicone mat is what you need for tiny pieces for glue. It just kind of, like the glue will sit on there but won't stick to everything else. Let's do one more dot there. So cute. Okay, so now this, so remember when we're attaching it, we're putting our dimensionals there. You can see, well, maybe you can't see, but I got a little bit of glue there. So I have a couple choices. I can either move my cake lower, which actually I think looks pretty good, or I can keep it centered and then just put some bling there. But I think I'm okay with it being just like that. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals here. All right. So again, the card now opens this way. That's why you want only the dimensionals there, because if you glue it there, you're not going to be able to open it. Okay, we need a sentiment, of course. I feel like we're getting a lot of light purple, so I think I'm going to go for darker purple. And I'm going to put Make a Wish. The sentiments in Cake Day, it has Happy Birthday, Make a Wish, Happy Cake Day, Congrats, Let's Celebrate. And I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape because it pairs well with the Highland Heather. Oh, for a second I thought I'd lost my piece. Okay, I'm going to cut off the excess. And I'm thinking it's going to go right there. So just a little bit of glue on the back. All right, I want honest opinions of this one because, like I said, I am not a bright purple person. So this is not typically my aesthetic. But I think I like it, but I want to know if you like it. This is more my aesthetic. All right, so there you go. We've got 2 cards done now using that same template. I'm going to move the measurements again for you. Hi, Renee. So there they are. Here, how about we do this? So you can see both cards I've made so far and the template. So I've got 2 more to go. Next is going to be Easter. Are you thinking about Easter yet? Or are you thinking it's too soon? It is an April Easter this year, but I know how quickly those kinds of things can sneak up on you. Again, if you're following along, I would love for you to say hi in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. If you're crafting with me, tell me what you're using to make your card. Because you can use anything. All right. Whoops. Okay, next one, like I said, is going to be Easter. Okay, so this is another one that's a lot of fun to make. Wonder what that's from. Oh, I was wondering why. So yes, you would want to glue this in here. I hadn't put that in there. Okay, this one's going to be another one, a lot of fun to build. So I'm starting with my card base. I'm back to a white one, 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 7.5 by 4.25. And then you need 2 coordinating designer series paper. I'm using it from the Easter Joy. It's 12 by 12 paper. Again, I do have it cut down, but just to show you the 6 different. Oh, geez. You're getting to see a lot of different. I'm not sure why I have those in there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, one of the sheets is that it has all the background scenes that are really cute. And then the back is that Summer Splash and Crumb Cake and Balmy Blue. This is a specialty designer series paper. It's got the shine to it. It's also really thick. So I'm thinking I could really use this to make some boxes or some fun 3D things. All right. So 5 1/4 by 2 1/2, 5 1/4 by 7/8. So that's going to get laid there. Okay. And then I've got my colored cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. Again, I told you it's optional. If you're using a white card base or a vanilla card base, you might want that. And this is, gosh, I said Summer Splash, but that's not right. Shy Shamrock, that's the color I'm looking for. This is Shy Shamrock. And then I've got my white to go over it. That's gonna go inside. All right, and then here's the fun part. So this is the Easter basket bundle. So here's all the cute stamps. You've got the cute bunnies, you got the little chicks, some flowers. But the best part is the dies. Look at this Easter basket. So I'm using that. I cut it out of Crumb Cake. And then this cuts out all these little strips. So we're gonna weave our basket. Okay, that's gonna be fun. It actually cuts out a lot more. I've already made one basket with it. And then you've got grass, which I've die cut. Again, out of Shy Shamrock to go inside my basket. Or you could do this to lay outside the basket. And then, of course, it die cuts all the different stamps that are in there. And then look at this cute little bow for your basket. Hi, Barbara. So adorable. This is going to make a lot of fun cards. So same thing when I say large shape die, I'm using the basket this time. So let me show you how to weave this. And I probably should have had some of it done because this might take a little bit. So I'm just going to go under, over, right? We know how to weave a basket, but it's super easy to do with this. I am using Flirty Flamingo is the color I have, but you could die cut different colors. I'm not going to show you samples yet because I have a card class coming up with this and I'm not ready to share sneak peeks yet. But there's a hint for you. You could do multiple colors even to make it even more fun. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that all the way to the top. And now my next one, I'm going to do the opposite. So instead of going under, I'm like over this piece and then under, I'm going to go under and then over. So you do have to work it a little bit, but it's pretty easy. And what I have found is that these strips, they do get bent a little bit, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can see I've got that one's got quite the bend going on. Okay, I want to pull this a little bit. And then you can scooch these up and down however you want them. So for this one, I'm going to make 3, but I've made one where it holds as much as 5, I think I've gotten in there. So this one, I'm going to follow along the top one. So I'm just going to do the opposite again. Oh, come on, there we go. Almost there. Okay, look how cute that is. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take your scissors and just follow along the side. Okay, and then you have that cute little basket. All right, so for my basket, I'm putting the grass in it. So I'm just going to put a thin line of glue right along this. And again, this is all die cut out of the that bundle. And then I'm just going to lay this right over it. Okay. And I think I'm going to want that there, but I'm going to do some stamping first. So I'm going to stamp this rabbit. And I think, let's see, I think I'll stamp them in black. Oh, and I got my finger. Tells you I'm hard at work when I have ink all over my fingers at the end of the day. Oops, and I just wiped that all off. It looks like my Memento ink might be ready for a refill. Oh good, he stamped well. I was a little worried there for a minute. All right, let me get some of this ink off my thumb because you know it's going to end up everywhere. All right, now I'm going to color. So let's do, I think I grabbed I grabbed Flirty Flamingo. All right, we'll make that work. Okay. And then I'm going to grab Gray Granite. No, Smoky Slate. Yeah, Smoky Slate. I'm using the light one. I love this for creating shadow. For festive friends, I use it all the time. So it's just not a completely white. And I'm just doing this really fast. And then, again, there is a die that will cut that out. And I have already done that. So look how cute he is. So it looks like maybe for this one I used Bubble Bath. Hi, Judy. All right, so I was picturing this guy here. And that bow. Yeah, I think I like the bow at the top. All right. I'm going to glue him down. Whoops, I guess that shouldn't have had that there. Okay, that's right. I'm going to show you how to fix it. I'm going to show you how I fix it. You're making your own, so you won't make that mistake, I'm sure. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a little dot of glue here. Okay, and I'm going to set that off to the side while I glue these pieces down. Again, I wish I could describe this paper better. Again, it's super thick. It's almost hard, and then it has, like, it's very smooth. I'm trying to think, like a plastic? I don't know if that's really a good description. But it's unlike any other paper I've seen Stampin' Up! Use. All right, now I'm going to glue this down. I am not going to stamp in this one. You saw me stamp in the other one. You can. Like the little chick down in the corner would probably be really cute. Or adding another strip of paper down here at the bottom or here. I wouldn't put it on this side because that's going to be showing on the outside of the card. All right. So now remember I got glue on the back of that ear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that is where I attach. So I'm going to pull out a little mini. Pop that right on his ear so that he can't glue anything down. And then I also want to make sure this bow stays. So I'm going to put one there. Just make sure that we're still staying. And so I'm going to kind of stay in line with those. All right, and then I'm just going to try and make sure that all of those stay right on there. Okay, so it opens that way. And then, of course, inside your envelope, I did give you if you're getting this free kit, I gave you a sentiment. And so Happy Easter will fit on there, or Hello Spring. Let's try Happy Easter. And I had not thought about my color. I think I might want that Flirty Flamingo. I've been using Flirty Flamingo a lot. All my Valentine's cards had it. Now these Easter cards are getting it. I don't know. This might be too big for this card. We'll see. Because now I'm thinking about where will that sit. Yeah, and actually I'm thinking I don't really like that color. Okay, let's try Hello Spring. And I'm going to try Balmy Blue. Look, you'll get to see what the different colors look like with this. All right, are you still with me? I have one more card after this one. Oh yeah, that's that I like. Oh, I don't want to cover up that basket. He might need to go right up there. Yep, that's where I'm gonna put him. Okay, so there's card number 3. All right, last card, I'm going to be using Greenery Lane. And Greenery Lane it's unique. It has a stamp set, it has a die cut, and it has a washi tape. So I'm going to show you how I use the washi tape as my designer series paper. All right, so let me pull out that last envelope. Okay, again, I'm using a colored card base this time. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 7.5 by 4.25. And then I've got my inside white piece and I've got my large die. And if you notice, this envelope had no designer series paper. That's because I'm going to use the washi tape. So I have white paper, and let me tell you the measurements just in case you want to try this. So 5.5 by 3 3/4. So I made it a little bit bigger than the pieces we need, and that's just going to give me more flexibility for when I cut this to make sure I get pieces that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unroll some washi tape. And then I'm going to do my best to lay this straight on it. And I do that every time. I'm about to say it'll play nice, and then I stick my hand in it. You guys are going to stop believing me that this is really nice. Okay, I'm going to cut this piece off and start again because that is really not nice. Okay. Oh, brother. So last month I made a card live, and it did this exact same thing. I promise you when I'm playing with it by myself, it doesn't. So let's try it again. There we go. See, that was much nicer. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess. And because I made this a little bit bigger than what I need, I'm not worried if I cut into my cardstock. So actually, all right, now I'm going to give you an up close so you can see. There are some slight wrinkles, but if you just use your fingernail, most of them really will come out. And now I have the flexibility of cutting this down to 5 1/4 by 7/8 and 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. And I've actually already done that. Okay, so see, you can see mine doesn't have any wrinkles in it. I promise it's easy to do. So those now become these pieces. Just like that. And my card base is Lost Lagoon if I didn't do that. And so this one has a little bit of a twist because all the other ones I used 2 different designer series paper. This one I'm using the same quotes designer series paper. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. And that glue is dead. Let's try this one. Okay, so that will go there. And then this one is going to go on the front. Oh, let's put it right side up. Boy, I hope I put the other one right side up. I did. Okay. So now this die is from Branching Out. The stamp is no longer available. So it came with this stamp set, but the dies are. So these are great large labels as well. So that's what I'm using. And like I said, I'm going to use the Greenery Lane bundle. So let me show you that one. This is another one that's got lots of stems. This is great for masculine cards, neutral cards, sympathy cards. And then it has everything to die cut. And it also die cuts that washi tape. So like you can see that it's coming. Oh, there's a bonus piece of hair. You can die cut all of these pieces right out of the washi tape. Oh, that's a piece I've already shown you. There's another one. Okay, so all of these images, you can even die cut these little stars out. I don't have the patience for that, so I would not do that. But it is an option. There is a die cut for that. I'm not going to use the dies at all for this card, but I am going to use these stamps. So I'm going to pull out this large one. And I'm going to pull out my sentiment. So I think I'm going to do Here for You. Ooh, I could do Love and Hugs because this could be a Valentine's card. Why not? I'll stick Here for You. And then I'm going to use Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Pretty Peacock. And then I'm putting that away. And I'm going to do the stem in Lost Lagoon. And I need my mat out because I'm going to stamp off. So I'm going to ink this up. This is such a pretty stem. And I'm going to do one time with full ink, and then I'm just going to layer it over it without the full ink, and look at that effect that it gives. And then I want some on the other side, so I'm going to ink it up again, but this time I'm going to stamp off on the paper and then on. So I've got 3 different tones there. See, isn't that just like a beautiful, simple... This is a great stamp set for those kinds of cards. And then that is just going to go here. Just like that. And then, oh, we got to glue this in. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that tonight. Can't neglect the middle of the card. All right, so there is card number 4. So all of them follow that exact same template, but look, they all look completely different purposes. Nobody ever told me what they thought of this one outside of my color wheelhouse. All right, there's all 4 cards. Again, I hope you will take this template and make a card if you want these exact same 4 cards. This is my free with purchase card class for the month. So just place a $40 order in my online store and I will send you the kit to make these exact cards. The only thing that you'll need is the ink and the stamps. So next week, oh, lots of hearts flying by. Thank you. I love the hearts. Next week, I am live again at 5:30 with another class. It's going to be the lovely arrangements. So I'm going to be making these 5 cards. I know a lot of you have already ordered your kit, and some of you might even have it already. Whoops. So we'll be making these 5 cards. You can, oh, more hearts flying by. You can get your kit. It's in the comments section. The link to register. Your kit will come with the 6x6 sheet of paper, the cloud cover ribbon, the dots that you'll need to make the cards, and then you'll have your 5 envelopes with all the cardstock and embossed cut for you. Again, the only thing that you'll need is the ink and the stamps. And if you want the exact same bundle that I use, which it is called the Lovely Arrangements Bundle, you can add that on, or you can use whatever stamps you have. All right, thanks so much for joining me. And again, I hope I will see you Wednesday live for that other class. See you then.